Welcome to the deep dive. So Bitcoin just flew past $107,000. Pretty wild. And today we're getting into Robert Kiyosaki's thinking, the rich dad, poor dad guy. He calls Bitcoin priceless. And believe it or not, he's apparently still buying. Our mission here is to unpack his, 7 key reasons for this conviction, especially this idea of Bitcoin as an exit strategy from the current financial system. We've looked at his recent talks, articles. Let's see what's behind this pretty bold stance.
Yeah, it's fascinating. And his starting point, our first insight, is actually about his own regret. He openly says he bought Bitcoin way back at $6,000 and thought that was expensive. Now it's over $100. He still thinks the price feels high, but he keeps buying more.
Right, so even though the price seems steep to him, he's still in.
Exactly. And it kind of challenges how most people think about entry points. His advice is basically, you'll wish you had bought more too. It's about shifting perspective, looking beyond just today's number.
That's a powerful place to start, acknowledging that feeling of, if only I'd bought more. So what's driving him now at these levels? What's he predicting?
Well, that's his second reason. These really audacious price targets. He's not holding back. He throws out numbers like $250,000 by 2025.
Wow, okay.
And then an almost unbelievable $1 million by 2030.
$1 million.
Yeah.
Ugh.
But the key thing he stresses is not to focus on the price right now. For him, it's all about the long-term trend, the bigger picture, not these daily ups and downs. It stems from his belief in, scarcity and growing adoption.
Okay, $1 million. That definitely gets your attention. And I guess that ties into his next point, right, about how different people approach wealth.
Precisely. His third insight is that famous line, poor people focus on price, rich people focus on how much they hold. And look, he frames it not as a judgment, but as a strategy. He's saying too many people get caught up trying to time the market, buy the dip, sell the peak, that kind of thing. Instead, he pushes for just accumulating the asset, focusing on owning more Bitcoin, not just its dollar value at any given moment.
So less about timing, more about stacking sats, as they say.
Yeah.
Which leads to his fourth point, right? The mantra.
Exactly. He boils it down to, don't wait to buy Bitcoin and wait. It flips that whole traditional investment advice of waiting for the perfect entry. With Bitcoin's potential scarcity, he argues waiting is riskier than just getting in and holding on. He even suggests owning a tiny piece. Just one satoshi that's 100 millionth of a Bitcoin could be life-altering down the road.
Just one satoshi. That's quite a thought. So what gives Bitcoin this unique, almost lifeboat status in his view?
Right, and that brings us to reasons 5 and 6, which are really linked. Fifth, he calls Bitcoin a true financial lifeboat. He points to global instability, inflation, economic uncertainty everywhere. Yep. He calls it digital gold for the next generation. Basically, a hedge against fiat currencies, regular government money, which he warns are, losing value rapidly.
Okay, digital gold. And the sixth point.
That's the exit strategy idea. He sees the whole fiat system, traditional money, as fundamentally flawed, maybe even broken. For him, Bitcoin represents a way out, an escape route from what he sees as an inevitable decline or even collapse of these conventional systems.
That's a pretty stark outlook on traditional finance. And it's not just him saying this anymore, is it? That brings us to the seventh point, the big institutions.
Indeed. And this is maybe the most concrete validation for his view right now. You've got huge names like BlackRock, MicroStrategy, pouring billions into Bitcoin ETFs.
Yeah, the ETFs change things.
Absolutely. These exchange-traded funds let traditional finance players get exposure easily. It's a massive signal, a kind of legitimization within the old system. Kiyosaki sees this as proof that the smart money is waking up and positioning itself, even while some retail investors are still hesitant.
So wrapping up this deep dive into Kiyosaki's worldview on Bitcoin, it's definitely provocative and urgent in his telling. He's not just painting it as an investment, but as this crucial exit strategy from a system he thinks is failing. And that final warning he gives, echoing his own story, you'll regret not buying now, just like I did at $6K. It really makes you think, doesn't it? In this world of, constant economic shifts and tech changes, what does a real safe haven look like for the future? And what role might digital assets play in your long-term financial thinking? Something to consider.